Tino tried to coerce me. I've been debating making this video for weeks now, and if I could save one person who may be a victim. I was contacted by another victim named Cassie. Lily stalked and refused to take no for an answer. It's like if you had a coworker and they just randomly ask this to you. That's how it feels. It's very inappropriate.
Yeah, sweetie, it's a real he too situation. I've been seeing it all over the socials. lillytino being canceled. She's not being canceled for accidentally using the N-word.
Nigger, nugget.
She's not being canceled for that. She's not being canceled for trying to get hardworking people fired from their jobs for misgendering her.
I was wondering if there's a manager I could talk to about something that happened. Yeah, I was called sir.
She's not being canceled for directing trans-related material at kids.
Hi friends! Today we're going to talk about what it means to be transgender.
She's not being canceled for that. She's not being canceled for talking about having her cake pops removed at Disneyland.
I'm gonna get banned from Disney. Last summer, I got my cake pops removed.
No, this is what she's being canceled for.
I've been debating making this video for weeks now because I was just trying to rack in my head whether I was overreacting or not.
Let me first point out that she's crying. And I know some of you are going to think I'm being mean because I'm smiling right now, but I'm telling you, most of you are going to agree with me. It really is ridiculous what's going on right now. The crying, I needed to put it all together. Yeah, okay, cool, brah.
But I felt so weird in the moment. And I still feel really weird about it. And if I could save one person who may be a victim in the future, that'd be great with me.
Okay, a victim. Keep that in mind. I know you guys think I'm being silly right now, but keep it in mind. She may be saving another victim right now.
A few weeks ago, Tino tried to coerce me into having sex with her using her status as a trans influencer.
Okay, that right there, I'll admit, it sounds bad. But wait, there's more.
With my wife sitting right next to me.
With your wife sitting right next to you. How bold. But wait, there's more.
I was first introduced to Lily by my wife, who was a member of our Discord server, and she would always tell me about all the hate Lily would get, and I eventually just had a soft spot and was like, hey, let me contact Lily because I understand how bad it can feel to have the hate mob on you as a trans influencer.
Okay, I've done other videos about the way this person, lillytino, harasses people in public. I'll post them down in the description so you guys can watch them if you want to, including the video where she did a parody of Miss Rachel, who's meant for children. People calling her out about stuff like that is hate. But this right here that she's going to go into, that's the real crime in all of this.
And then cut to a few weeks ago, Lily messaged me with the idea of, do you want to go on a work trip with me to Las Vegas? And I tell her immediately no, because I'm on a Canadian work permit. And the moment I leave Canada, it goes null and void. It's not good anymore. But then we hopped on a Discord video chat, and she was still really insistent on wanting me to get to the US ASAP so we could meet together. She really wanted to know the nitty-gritty of why I couldn't currently come to the US. Meanwhile, I'm just wondering, why is she so urgent about this? Then she just pops out with a bait and switch of, oh, I wanted to actually go to Las Vegas to do OF content together. My wife is sitting literally right next to me.
Let me stop you right there. Stop acting like it's such a terrible thing that somebody asked you if you wanted to collab on OF content and that you feel so offended because your wife is right next to you. If you're really that traditional, that clutch my pearls type, you wouldn't have an OF when you have a wife. I'm not judging you. I'm not saying you can't have an OF. I'm not saying you shouldn't have an OF. I'm just saying you can't pretend to be Miss Prim and Proper, and I can't believe someone would suggest such a thing to me when you are already in that line of work. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying a person can't say no. I'm not saying a person can't have boundaries. But I am saying the mere suggestion of somebody wanting to collab with you, which is something that's very common within creator communities, should not in and of itself be considered such a violation.
Lily is fully aware of my wife JC and how we're together and how we're monogamous. I never hinted to Lily that I was interested in anything like that, and I'm wondering why she assumed I would just agree to it immediately if borders weren't an issue, because no, I would not have agreed to that under any circumstances. We didn't have that kind of relationship at all, me and Lily. So after our call, I'm just sitting there very exhausted, wondering why do I feel so bothered right now? And I think about it over and over and over again. And I asked JC, did Lily just sexually harass me? Is like, I don't know. Like, if I could get you to imagine this, it's like if you had a coworker and they just randomly ask this to you. That's how it feels. It's very inappropriate.
Yeah, sweetie, it's a real he too situation.
And listen, I have an OF too, and I have plenty of friends that have OFs too. But the thing is, collabs usually don't work this way. There's always a mutual respect there.
I personally have never had an OF, but within the circles that I run in, or even sometimes on Grindr, different people work the way they do collabs different ways. So you saying that usually it comes from a place of mutual respect or whatever, not always. Sometimes it's a person on Grindr that just says, shooting content, does anybody want to collab? There's also people that do it in even more informal ways and will hook up with people from bars, clubs, the gym, and then just ask people if they want to collab. So you acting like there's some sort of well-established protocol across the platform is ridiculous.
And they both already know before the pitch even happens that both parties are even open to a collab. I never did a collab with another trans influencer, so I don't know why she would even get that idea. But for me, this just feels like Lily does not know boundaries at all, and sex is just a toy to her.
Honestly, though, so what if it is? If hooking up is just a toy to somebody and you don't like that, then you just don't hook up with them.
So a trans woman on TikTok just said to me, and I quote, "Bleaching your hair won't turn you into a white man." Girl, you don't want to play that game.
That video has absolutely nothing to do with what we're going to talk about. I just thought it was funny, so I decided to share it. What's up, everybody? Ty Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. Okay, so just to get all of this straight, no pun intended, we're supposed to be fine with the fact that lillytino harasses hardworking people while they're on the job and tries to get them fired. lillytino creates trans-related content for children in some cases, or seems to be directed at kids at the very least, and we're supposed to be fine with that. lillytino is discussing her cake pops at Disney, and we're all supposed to be fine with that. But then suddenly, lillytino asked two other adult males to go to Vegas more than once, and suddenly that's where we're supposed to draw the line. No sir, no ma'am, and no anything in between. Sorry, not doing it. And I saw it all over the internet the other day. I decided to wait so I could get all my facts together and do a little bit of research, which, believe it or not, I know I look like I'm just off the cuff. In a way I am, but I do a fair... but I do actually do quite a bit of research because I realize that some people watch my channel, so I try to be responsible in my reporting, in my journalism, if you will. Just kidding, I'm not a journalist. I am just a guy that likes to talk about the drama on the internet, and this one is definitely drama, but I'm beginning to feel like trans people don't know what words mean, because what I was seeing all over the internet was lillytino accused of SA. For anybody that doesn't know what SA is, just Google what does SA mean, and that'll tell you what you need to know. I'm also going to be discussing SWs in this video. For anybody that doesn't know what an SW is, the first word rhymes with flex. The second word is worker. So if you can't put that together, you're not smart enough to be watching this video. Stick around anyway, though. You might learn something. So anyway, here's what's going on. The reason I say that these people don't know what they're talking about is lillytino is being canceled because this particular creator by the name of Colleen, who's also a trans woman, came out not too long ago and said lillytino had been inappropriate with her. I guess, but only in the most most basic and annoying way ever is what I would say, because lillytino had asked her to go to Las Vegas with her. When the other trans woman, Colleen, said that she wasn't able to go, Lily, according to Colleen, kind of pushed the issue, which Colleen tried to make it seem like it's something bigger than it is, but really, that's just the way dudes are, girl. Because whether or not you want to believe it, whether or not you want to accept it, you, Colleen, may look at lillytino and see lillytino, but the rest of us see this and this and this. So anytime you think that you're dealing with a woman when talking to Nick, aka lillytino, Nick was their name originally, remember that the pictures that I've just shown are who you're really talking to. So don't act surprised, don't act brand new, and don't act like you're an actual victim of something other than a dude being annoying with you on the phone.
I used to be a guy. I understand.
I mean, if we're gonna just strip everything away to the bones of it, no pun intended, what we have here is three dudes that don't know how to be friends with each other. That's what it comes down to. So stop trying to make it seem like I'm a lady and I've been violated. No. It's three dudes that don't know how to have friends. All three of you have your problems. And I always get told I'm not sensitive enough in these situations, but I always have to wonder what I'm supposed to be sensitive to. Because there really is no crime. Unless being extremely annoying is a crime, in which case lillytino should have been canceled long ago. So I'm gonna play the video for you. I'll probably talk in between just because these people are so boring. Before I go any further, like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to leave a comment just to help me on the algorithm, but you don't know what to comment, just leave a knife, because I guarantee you the supporters of these creators are definitely gonna come for my neck. But I do not care, because I'm just gonna tell the truth. Also, before I go any further, some of you are gonna get mad because I'll use she and her pronouns at times. I'll use he and him pronouns at times. I'll use whatever pronouns make sense to me in the moment. I don't care about pronouns. So if you're that person that's going to be in the comments and you're like, why do you keep saying she and her when they're clearly he and him? And I'm like, look out the window, enjoy the scenery. I don't know what to tell you. I talk the way I talk. I've been over this before. If you're that person, welcome, but don't make your triggers my problem. So apparently lillytino had responded on her TikTok live, which I don't have footage of, but it really seems pretty inconsequential. So now we're going to go over her response to whatever lillytino had put on the live.
Hi. Sorry it took so long, but I had to really gather my thoughts because when I uploaded my video yesterday, lillytino decided to react to it on her live stream. She ended up sicking her entire fan base on me, which was not very nice. But I'm ready. I have receipts. When she first messaged me to pitch her idea to go to Vegas, she wanted to basically pitch it as a fun girls' trip.
Quick question. Who were the girls?
And I was friendly about it, but I also made sure she knew that, hey, listen, I cannot go to the US right now because I'm trying to get my permanent residence here in Canada. And if I leave, the whole process gets halted. It's a whole big thing. I can't do it. And she's known about this for months, by the way. Anyway, she wanted to go on a Discord call, and I agreed. And I had JC sit right next to me because her name was brought up. And she pushed me again for more details on why I couldn't come to the US. And she also wanted an exact timeline of when she thought I would be able to do it. And I said probably 8 months or so, but I thought it was weird to even ask. But suddenly the subject changed to her wanting to actually collab with me. And my innocent mind thinks,
can we stop? In my innocent mind. Girl, get a hold of yourself. When you lay it on too thick, you sound like a liar.
oh, she probably just means like TikTok or Instagram, right? Because I've told her before that OF is like such a small part of my life. I post like the bare minimum like once a week. I don't do anything crazy. It's very soft core.
Would you describe it as
very demure, very mindful?
I'm not gonna lie. And TikTok and Instagram are pretty much my main focus. And I answer her pitch of wanting to collab, and I basically just say, no, because I kind of like working alone. But then I feel like she wasn't even listening to anything I was saying there, because she was actually like, oh, no. I mean, I was thinking of an OF collab. And this is where I have a lot more information. Lily wanted me to go to this place in Vegas where a company named Queer Crush, who she met at a Pride event in San Francisco, were setting up sets and cameras to film professional looking porn. She even sent me a link to the website right here while we were talking. And I didn't take a look at the link until like yesterday, but I checked it yesterday, and the kind of stuff that they're filming is very much hardcore. It is very much out of my comfort zone, and I think Lily knew that. Lily went on to mention how it would benefit us both financially, which I call BS on that part because I'm much more successful on that platform than her, no offense. And right after she pitched us doing an OF collab, I immediately reminded her that I was monogamous. This is not even mentioning the fact that I have had a feeling that Lily's had a crush on me for quite a while. She would always comment on every single one of my pictures with hearts. And what kind of confirmed this to me was the fact that her Plan B influencer that is now apparently currently going with her to Las Vegas, Lily has told us in Discord plenty of times that she's had a crush on her and that she used to subscribe to her own fans before they even started talking. And now she's suddenly going to Vegas, which is interesting because Lily reached out to her and now she's invited her to do this thing with her. I know she's probably going to just brush this off like she didn't do anything wrong, but it felt so wrong because I met her and I talked to her under the guise that I was basically friend slash mentor to her. And she completely neglected that and just saw me as dollar signs and a piece of meat. Sorry, I forgot one thing. So before I even went public with this, I got JC to message Lily for me, telling her how upset I was and how I didn't even want to be around. And JC did mention the OF part. So this kind of confirms that Lily does know about that if she ever tries to deny it again, which she did. Her apology was really just like, yeah, it was just for work. But no, I know that wasn't the case.
When this person, Colleen, says that lillytino had sick dollar fans on her, I don't really know how many fans she has. Also, in this particular video, when she talks about the fact that she was a friend and mentor to Lily, so there was no power dynamic there, and you're saying that she was pressuring you on this phone call that happened over Discord. I'm gonna hip you to something. Every service I've ever been on, whether it's Facebook Messenger, Instagram, Discord, all of them have a feature where you can hang up from either side of the call. So what was stopping you from just hanging up the call if you were that uncomfortable? I was talking to a guy not too long ago that did have an interest in me. He hit me up and we were chatting on Instagram at first, and then we decided to talk on FaceTime. While we were on FaceTime, he said a couple of things that I just didn't care for. I expressed that to him. He continued to behave that way. I went ahead and just hung up. I just clicked the little button, hung up, haven't spoken to him since. I don't feel a need to expose him. I don't feel a need to get him canceled. I don't even see anything to get anybody canceled about. It was just a phone call that I didn't like, which is what I think that this is. Also, if you don't have the balls, no pun intended, to talk to Lily person to person, or at least send a message and just say, hey, I wasn't comfortable with the way that conversation went down, and then you decide to go public with it because you think that she needs to be taught a lesson, it really does look like more of a clout chase than anything else. Also, when she says that she would leave like heart emojis and stuff like that, leaving the heart eyes on videos on Instagram means absolutely nothing. I have friends that are 100% my platonic friends, and sometimes I will leave all fire emojis on just a regular picture that they put up of them doing something very wholesome, or sometimes I'll put hearts, or they'll do the same with me. And everybody knows I'm not in anybody's DMs. I'm not trying to talk to anybody. It's just trying to keep up the engagement. And especially between influencers, sometimes you'll put stuff just to make sure that you help boost the algorithm. I've talked about this before. I will like post and videos and reels that I haven't even watched yet so that it hopefully spurs the algorithm. So I don't really think that just leaving emojis necessarily mean that Lily was being a creep. Do I think Lily is a creep? Yes. But do I think that the things this person is saying as evidence make her a creep? No. I don't think that that's the reason she's a creep. So then lillytino ended up responding, and I'll play that just so you guys can hear Lily's response. Like I said, I fully do not like lillytino. I technically can't stand her. But in this situation, do I think they're calling her out for the right thing? No, because I think being this annoying is on brand for her. I think you should know that lillytino is going to be annoying. But we'll go ahead and listen to her response really quick.
I'd like to start with some context about Colleen and I's relationship before all this happened. So last April, I was going through a really tough time, something that actually I learned Colleen had also gone through before. She reached out, was really supportive, really nice, and honestly, her support was one of the reasons that I was able to pick myself back up and start creating again. From there, Colleen and her partner were super involved in our community. It was great to have them. Over time, we became friends, and like any friend, I would always post something nice in her comment section. I didn't have a crush on her. I was just a friend from the fan section saying, "Go Colleen." Now, independent of Colleen, I recently decided to start making a new kind of content. One of the things that I thought would be helpful to kickstart that effort would be to collaborate with people in the same space. Colleen is in that space. For the record, collaborations are super common among any kind of social media creator, be it this kind of content or other kinds of content. I'd encourage you to think about all the times you've seen two content creators come together to partner on a video. It happens all the time. And since I've been wanting to go to Vegas a lot on my own, I figured it would be cool, two birds with one stone, get a couple friends, go down, do fun stuff, and also make it a little more worth our while, do some collaboration on content. Colleen seemed like a good person to ask because she already does this kind of content for a living, so I didn't think it was an out of left field ask to say, hey, this thing that you do for work, I'm starting to do it too. What if we partnered up for a thing? Not to mention, I thought her content was awesome and I really admired her for it, and I would have loved a chance to collaborate with her. Now, Colleen contradicts herself a couple of times over the course of her videos. In the first one, she talks about how we were discussing Las Vegas in the chat before I brought it up to her on the video call. That's not true. And in her second video, she contradicts it by saying that I brought it up to her for the first time on our video call. That's true. On that video call, I said, hey, wouldn't it be cool if you, me, and your partner, and by the way, her partner was there for this. It was all three of us. I said, wouldn't it be cool if me, you, and your partner had a fun trip to Las Vegas? We'll do the Sphere. I want to go to a Mega Mart, maybe see a couple shows. It'll be super fun. And while we're there, it would be cool for us to film some content because ultimately I'm starting to make more content. I like your content. It would be cool for us to partner. Colleen immediately said, actually, I'm monogamous. Now, to be clear, as soon as she said no, I said, okay, no problem, and we moved on. Colleen in her videos has made it out to be like I dragged it on, like I was pushing her and pulling her and trying to get her to do this collaboration, when in reality, all I said was, okay, no problem, totally fine. At that very moment, my internal monologue was, okay, Colleen doesn't want to do this. Who else would want to do this? And I moved on from the situation entirely. I didn't know that this was something that bothered Colleen or her partner. They did not tell me that it bothered them until weeks later when I received a DM from her partner, which Colleen also mentioned in her video. I immediately apologized over Discord message. I never got a response, and the next day they posted the video. Now, Colleen talked a lot about our conversation on her citizenship. Colleen is an American citizen who lives in Canada currently and is working towards her Canadian citizenship. She told me that she can't leave Canada right now because that would interfere with her Canadian citizenship. I, as her friend, was just curious why that was. It sounds like Colleen interpreted that as me trying to push and pull her towards this content, when in reality, I wasn't even thinking about Las Vegas anymore. I wish I could show you the video call to prove what I'm saying, but sadly, Discord doesn't store any video calls on their end. To recap, I never had a crush on Colleen. I saw her as a friend. I asked her if she and her partner wanted to come to Vegas. She said no. I said okay and moved on. This whole situation is something out of nothing. And the saddest thing is that people will believe what she's saying just because they don't like me and they want it to be true. I would have much rather dealt with this personally, one-on-one, but she didn't allow for that to happen. So here I am, speaking my piece. Thank you.
Okay, as a person that does not like lillytino, and technically I think she's always the source of her own problems, but a couple of things that she says in this video really did stand out for me. Like when she says that it's common to collaborate, that I agree with. Also, when she said she asked in front of her partner because she didn't want to seem like she was trying to be sneaky about it, that again seems on the up and up to me. If you're just trying to do business and you're not trying to have an affair with anybody. A lot of couples, as far as gay, trans, lesbian, maybe not lesbian, let me not speak for the lesbians, but as far as gay and trans and queer especially, there are a lot of people in the community that are in open relationships or that swing in some way. So regarding her thinking that they might be cool with it or it might not be a thing for them, that makes sense. So maybe regionally that's different, because you got to remember that lillytino is based in San Francisco. And I respect it if you're in a monogamous relationship, and even if you're shooting OF content and you're in a monogamous relationship, I still respect that. But I will repeat, I don't think that it's at all out of line for someone just to ask if you'd be interested in doing a collab. So Colleen came out with this final video. We'll go over that just so you guys can see a little bit more of the ridiculousness of this person, Colleen, and then we'll be done with this subject, because I only have so much patience for these people that really don't understand the way the world works. I just wanted to talk about this because when I saw all over the internet that lillytino was being canceled, I thought, good, finally. And then I watched it and I was just like, this is why you guys decide to cancel her? None of the other stuff, because in this situation, this person says that she considered herself a friend and mentor to lillytino. So if you're a friend and mentor, the reason I stress mentor is because if you're her mentor and you're more popular than her on OF, which is what you claim, and this person has a decent TikTok following, I didn't check their Instagram, I'm sure they have a decent Instagram following as well. So there is no power dynamic. There's nothing that lillytino has over you if you're doing as well on social media as you claim to be and as you appear to be. So it's just basically one friend being annoying and asking another friend more than once if they want to go somewhere and do something. I've had friends do that with me quite a bit. I think we all have, where you say you can't do something. And again, not even friends that are trying to hook up with you, just regular friends. You'll say that you can't go somewhere with them, to a party, to the club, anything. And they'll just be like, come on, why can't you go? And sometimes they'll keep asking you questions like that. And I'm not making excuses for Lily here, but I am saying that I've been in this exact situation, and I've been on both sides of this situation, where a person will keep asking me to do something over and over, and I'll start to get annoyed, and they'll be like, well, why can't you go? And I'll be like, because I just don't want to go. And then they'll be like, all right, well, what if I pay? And then I'll be like, well, if you're gonna pay for it, then yeah, I'll go. I just don't want to spend my money on that bullshit, you know? Which I'm not even being silly. There have been times like that. And also, I've had times where friends have outright told me that they didn't want to go somewhere with me because they were broke. Again, platonic friends tell me that they didn't want to go somewhere because they were broke. And I didn't mind taking care of them. I just wanted a friend to go with me so I'd have some company and we could check it out together. So sometimes people will press you because they're trying to see if there's a reason like that you're not able to go. And then it's just like, oh, well, if that's the reason, then I'll take care of that. I can pay for you to go. So it could have been one of those situations too. So I don't know why this is such a big 3-video extravaganza for this person. Now we'll go to the video that this person made in response to Lily's video. I swear, these people act like this is really that important, but here I am reporting on it, so.
Last week, lillytino made a video completely denying her sexually harassing me.
Were you really harassed though? I'm not trying to be rude, but were you really harassed? A person asked, maybe more than once in the same phone call. I think you're maintaining 3 times was what they asked, which treating you like a lady at that point, because everybody knows once, twice, 3 times a lady, them's the rules, have been since the 70s, I think it was. But asking you more than once the same question is not harassment. Is it annoying? Yes. But also, as I've already said, could you not have just hung up? Was there a malfunction happening with your phone where you were unable to hang up this call?
And if you're wondering why it took me so long to even respond to that, I'll get to that in a second. But here's quickly why her response was just laughably bad. Lily failed to mention that she led me into a Discord call under false pretenses when her real motives were to film porn with me. If she were upfront, I would have said no immediately. She didn't mention that I said no or I can't 3 different times. And even after that, even after I said no to doing porn, porn, she still sent me a link to the porn studio and said it would be mutually beneficial. The entire video, she didn't even mention OF or even spicy content once. Instead, she mentioned it as a different kind of content.
I recently decided to start making a new kind of content.
And was very nonchalant about saying it was normal for content creators to collab, which is true for something like TikTok, but is much more sensitive when we're talking about making literal porn.
For the record, collaborations are super common among any kind of social media creator, be it this kind of content or other kinds of content.
And this one shocked me. She edited the word OF out of her screenshot, the one that I actually posted to my video itself uncensored.
I received a DM from her partner, which Colleen also mentioned in her video.
And she'll probably say it's for TikTok terms of service, but here, let me just put that message on the screen and watch nothing happen to this video.
Okay, good. Glad you know that. But there are times where I overly self-censor on my YouTube videos because I'm not sure what I can and can't get away with. So to me, that isn't that damning. And everybody's going to see that there's a blank spot there, so people are going to know. And we're all nosy, so we do pause. And knowing that you already said your part, of course we'd put 2 and 2 together. So stop trying to make it seem like that is really some sort of smoking gun. You're a ridiculous person. You know, when it comes to situations like this, I have something I always say about these kinds of people. You both deserve each other because you're equally annoying and all about nothing. Neither of you are taking this seriously and don't understand that there are real victims of SA in the world. There are real victims of harassment in the world. And when you do things like this, you discredit all of that because you try to make it seem like it's something trivial and it's just about you trying to be catty and get back at somebody because you didn't get along for whatever reason, or maybe she just finally got on your nerves. Who knows? But it's not what you're portraying it as. And stop trying to make it seem like you're a victim other than your own bad choices, other than your own unwillingness to hang up a phone call. I mean, I could rack my brain trying to figure out why you wouldn't just hang up if you were this uncomfortable, but I wouldn't be able to wrap my brain around the reason no matter what you said, because there is no good reason for you to not just hang up the phone.
Lily was trying to sanitize the entire situation to make herself seem innocent. Like, I got many comments after they come back to my video being like, oh, I didn't even know that Lily was even talking about OF until I saw your video. And I've been frequently asked why I even went public in the first place, because Lily had such a well-written response, right? But the reason I even went public was because I knew that immediately after I went public, Lily would publicly act like this.
Right? And also, I had no idea they were monogamous. Most trans people I know are poly.
You went public because you knew she'd say something like that? That's not an unreasonable thing to say. It's one of the things I've complained about in the community because I prefer monogamous relationships. A lot of people are in open relationships. I would even go as far as to say most people, when it comes to gay and trans, I don't know what lesbians doing. A lot of lesbians have seemed to keep it traditional and monogamous, and it makes me wish I was a lesbian, but only for that reason. Oh, and so I can enjoy carbs again. But never mind that. But a lot of gay, queer, and trans are cool with open relationship or being poly. So I don't know why this seems, again, so damning to you. You're gonna have to do better, sister.
So let's say, okay, she's monogamous and she could have just said no.
And finally, if you're wondering why I haven't responded till now, it's because the day I was going to respond last week, I was contacted by another victim named Cassie.
Victim of what? An annoying phone call? When you say another victim, and believe me, I listened to the video with this person, Cassie. She's going to play a clip of it right here. But again, this person is also an OF content creator, and this person is also much bigger in that space than lillytino. So there is no real power dynamic. I don't know what's going on.
Who was tied up in this entire Vegas situation too. Her situation's very similar to mine, except for her, Lily stalked, groomed.
Groomed? How are adults being groomed right now? Seriously. That's what I really want to know. You all look to be adults, and let's be honest. Some people are going to look at you and say, oh, these poor girls. But the fact of the matter is, we're dealing with fully adult males. Everybody in this situation is a male. So we don't know how men's brains work. Does that stop when you start taking female hormones? You stop knowing how men's brains work? You stop knowing that guys will sometimes do stuff to get an angle like you don't know this? Does that stop? Since I've been dating men my entire adult life and I know I am a man, I know what to watch out for. Guys hit me with stupid stuff all the time and I'm like, no, Margie, we're not doing that. I know that trick. I pulled that trick. I'm just being real. Some people are going to get mad at me, but there are ways that these things work. And yes, when it comes to actual physical, fully, everybody has a right to say no. Everybody has a right to put down boundaries. When it comes to verbal, everybody has a right to say no. Everybody has a right to put down boundaries. But to act like you were victimized because a person asked you more than once to go to Las Vegas, even if their intention was to shoot some content with you in Las Vegas, you said no consistently. Maybe it took them 3 times, but eventually they were cool with it. Where is the crime? When you say victim, there has to be a crime or there's not a victim.
And refused to take no for an answer countless times, to the point where on Lily's live streams, I was tricked because Lily was publicly saying that she already had someone to go to Vegas with her after I said no, referencing Cassie. Turns out Cassie never said yes.
So I've been trying to say no, and she keeps pushing for it.
It was strange though, because on her TikTok lives, it sounded like you were a shoo-in to go.
Yeah, no.
One of the primary reasons that Cassie said no was because of medical reasons. Lily would try to be like, oh, why don't you stop this medication? Why don't you stop that medication? Lily, someone should not have to stop their medication to have sex with you. That's ridiculous and predatory.
She basically didn't believe that I was telling her that it is quite severe, to the point where I don't like traveling.
Lily had subscribed to her OF for months prior, told people in the Discord, including me, about Cassie herself. And when Cassie was being called out by Chris Tyson on Twitter for being too trans, which I think is freaking ridiculous, Lily swooped in all friendly, saying, come to our Discord server. We're friendly here. We'll understand you. And then not too long after, asked her to go to Vegas to do porn with her. She's been aware of you and has been following you on OF for quite a while.
That's crazy to know she knew who I was before that day.
She talked about it. Like, she talked about it multiple times.
Oh.
In a Discord. She talked about it, yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, that changes everything. Why hasn't she told me that? And I even told her how this happens to me all the time. Like, people, I'll meet like a set of friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one of them gets me alone, they go, hey, so, I actually watch your content. And then I'm like, oh, so you're trying to fuck me. and it's so often, and I'm like, oh, this is the exact same, but it's the first time it's happened to me with someone like Lily.
I honestly hate to think what could have happened to either one of us if we did agree to go to Las Vegas with Lily.
Sounds like you were going to go to the Sphere, possibly go to some shows and Omega Mart.
We'll do the Sphere. I want to go to a Mega Mart, maybe see a couple shows.
And just because me and Cassie are trans sex workers, it does not mean we do not deserve respect or boundaries. And Lily decided to break all of those for both of us because she wanted to have sex with us.
How did she break your respect and boundaries? Just by not accepting that you couldn't go to Vegas or didn't want to go to Vegas right away and asked more than once? Because again, like I said, I've had friends do that. And to me, I respect this little grift least than almost any other. And it's because the entire internet has been saying that this person is a creep and mistreats people at the very least. And you are willing to cape for it. You are willing to dismiss it. But then when it comes to you and you thinking that she's being creepy, now everybody's supposed to act like you're a victim. Well, you're not a victim of anything other than your own bad choices and the friends you select, and you have yourself and your wife to blame for it. So stop looking outward and trying to act like we're all supposed to feel bad for you or anybody at all is supposed to feel bad for you, when really all that happened was you got a few annoying phone calls, which if a few annoying phone calls equate to harassment and me now being a victim, I have been a victim my entire life. Right now is election season, and sometimes I get harassed by people that are doing political polls. Sometimes I get harassed by people that are trying to sell me an extended warranty on my car. Sometimes I get harassed by people that think I have student loans that need to be paid, even though I never went to school to get student loans. So please learn what a victim is, find out that you're not one, and actually work on making creative content instead of trying to find another way to be a victim. I think all that's happened with these people in particular is being trans is becoming less and less popular as a victim status. And so now they've got to find new ways to be victims. And this is just somebody being annoying as a friend. And you should have known that by watching their interactions online before you ever got involved with it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. As always, this has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world.
They bought into his bullshit.